Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. Kay Murray, Alejandro Moreno and Shaka Hislop here in the studio. We'll be kicking things off by talking about what happened in the Premier League at the weekend, where the top three teams all dropped points. Arsenal, obviously, among that trio, but ended up actually extending their lead at the top of the table to 7 points. Man City losing to Manchester United, Aston Villa losing to Everton. And after that loss, Unai Emery said that his side are not top five contenders. He said, "We are not a contender to be in the top five. We are still not being contenders. There are other teams with more potential than us." We're going to now welcome in Julien and Mario Melchiot as well to continue this conversation. But we did put you to task today because we've asked you guys for your top five predictions following on from Unai Emery saying what he said. And all of you have Villa in the Champions League places, even though their own manager doesn't. So what do you think provoked that comment, Jules?
It's interesting, isn't it? I think he was quite grumpy by the bad performance of his team to start with in that defeat against Everton at Villa Park, the injury to John McGinn, which is another injury on top of the likes of Kamara and Onana, etc., etc. The fact that he probably lost Daniel Malen the day before that game due to financial reasons. This is probably the only explanation you could have to let Malen go now, even if they will replace him with Tammy Abraham, which is, I think, could be a clever signing. You still don't want to lose Malen at this stage of the season when you're potentially aiming or fighting for potentially winning the title. So I think all of that probably made him a bit grumpy, because this is not true really. They are obviously top five contender, easily they are. When you see the gap between them and fourth place, it's quite significant at this time of the season. So I think he was just a bit grumpy, and he's probably not too happy with not just where the team is at right now, because we said first half of the season they did really well, but overachieved a lot of their metrics and a lot of their stats, won some games where they probably didn't deserve to win them. And now it seems things have leveled a little bit, and they're obviously not as good and not winning those games as we saw on Sunday, plus the injuries. It was probably a little bit too much for Unai on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. But for me, the key thing is like what Jules said, it makes sense. He said that, but he knows that he has to take the pressure off his team. The only way to do that is make sure that the public knows, oh, we are not going for top four, we're going to drop, but later on they're going to pick up. I don't see any, problems maybe now, but I think he knows what he wants, and he will guide his team to make sure that they play Champions League next season.
Can I tell you something shocking? Mario Melchiot has not gone for Chelsea in his top five. In fact, only one of you has. It's Alejandro Moreno.
Wow.
Not Manchester United, though. Did Manchester United not do enough for you at the weekend against Man City?
Well, they have to do enough for a longer period of time than a single game. Look, it was an impressive performance. I thought they were really good. I thought they were surprisingly good in their first game under Michael Carrick. But it's not enough just yet. It's been too many false dawns with Manchester United. Too many times that we sit in this studio and we go, well, it seems like they're about to turn the corner. It seems like they have turned the corner. Okay, brighter days ahead. And then reality sets in and they're unable to string results. So until they do it for a longer period of time than one single match, then I have to go with somebody else.
Mario, what happened in that game? Was that the game that was convincing you not to put your former club, Chelsea, in your top five?
No, because I picked my stats that I picked was from the moment where we are now. You understand? And I don't think Chelsea performed really well to win that game. They won the game, but I don't think they were really convincing. I think, they didn't turn up and play that well. I don't want to say that Bedford was incredible what they played, but I just felt like, no, Chelsea didn't play well. But on the other hand, you're talking about Man United. I was at that game. So that one, I definitely tell you. Ellie said like they are not that. Ellie, hey, this is the best I've seen Man United for the whole season. Yeah. The way I saw them play. Tactically, whoo. But I will not go there. I will go there when Kay wants me to go there.
Well, hey, fair enough, Mario. And when I was making my assessment of Manchester United, I did say that they were impressive against Manchester City. And I thought that they looked really good. And they're knocking the ball around. And you're kind of going, what? Wait, who are these guys? This is not, for me, the evidence that puts them over the top. I need to see the next 3-4 matches in order to change my mind.
Shaka's seen enough. Shaka's got United there,
I do.
not Chelsea. Why United there?
When I just weigh these two teams up, pound for pound, position for position, I think Manchester United are the better of the two. Now, you can make arguments as to, well, I think Lamens is the better goalkeeper. I think probably on an even par in terms of the back four. Casemiro and Meno.
You're comparing two very average teams.
Yeah, we all accept that.
Yeah, okay.
Casemiro and Meno, I thought Michael Carrick certainly got a tune out of both of them against Manchester City. Obviously, Meno looks like the player that he did when he was first introduced. And then it comes down to the attacking options. And this version of Manchester United is better than what we've seen from Chelsea. João Pedro is a player I like, but if you're relying on Garnacho, I'm sorry. I just feel this version of Manchester United with Mbeumo, Cunha, Amad Diallo, you were even getting a tune out of Sesko before his injury. That, for me, puts Manchester United, well, in terms of finishing fifth, in pole position over Chelsea.
Let me...
You cannot even keep a straight face when you're saying it, Shaq.
Well,
No,
you're comparing the teams, and you know this is like, okay.
Well, let's
no,
see.
yeah, we all, but to your point, we all accept that. Yeah, you're looking. It's two. We're talking about two teams. Kind of, one has to finish in fifth almost by default.
Yeah.
To your point, and then for me, it's just it comes down to United's attacking options, which I think are greater than Chelsea's. That's all it comes down to.
Jules agrees with Shaka, even though Jules was telling us how good Liam Rosenior is and that he rates this manager. He doesn't rate him highly enough to get Chelsea into the top 5, Jules.
No, it's not that. I think, so right now they're outside of the top, they're in 6th position, outside of the top 5. So I can see the top 5 staying. I think for United to not play in Europe between now and May is massive. I expect Chelsea to qualify for probably the playoff for sure, but finishing top 8 maybe. So they'll be in the last 16. Potentially you could go to the quarterfinals, and that adds games. Chelsea are also in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, obviously. Potentially could go to the final. I know they lost the first leg to Aston and will have to go to the Emirates, but could go to the final. That adds more game. There's the FA Cup. That adds more game. United are out of the FA Cup. United only have the league to play, which is very different to all the other teams that we all have in our top 5. All of them are in Europe. All of them are still in the FA Cup. Some are in the League Cup. It's a very different rhythm. As we saw in the derby on Saturday, City had played on Tuesday night away at Newcastle, which I think took a lot. It's not the reason why they lost and they were so bad, so terrible. There's many other reasons why, but that was part of it. Whereas United had the whole week to prepare. They had the whole week to think about just that derby, and it will be the same next Sunday on Sunday when they go to Arsenal. Arsenal are in Milan tonight. They play Inter tomorrow. They fly back at 3 a.m. on Wednesday. Still enough time before Sunday, sure. But United had 2 days off. They'll take it easy Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they go into preparing for that game on Sunday at the Emirates. It's a very different rhythm, and for me, that would be a big part why United would finish top 5 and not Chelsea.
It's a valid point from Jules, and I take it on board, yeah? But he's making a point about the other teams having complicated schedules and Manchester United not having a complicated schedule because they have been terrible enough that they've been bounced from the competitions. So it's like, it's a backhanded compliment, is what it is. Like, well, they have a free week. You know why they have a free week? Because they're terrible.
Well, Mario, this is your chance then to tell us why Manchester United and to let Ale know why it's going to be a new manager bounce for you again against Arsenal at the weekend.
I think he did well in the 3 days that he had the team, you understand, when he took over. I think how he set them up was really important. When you look at the midfield, for example, you know, Mino played there, Casemiro and Fernandes. The moment when they broke out and they lose the ball, the way those guys were sprinting back was different than we have seen them play. Because normally we see, you know, one sprint back and the other one doesn't do it. It was like a team effort. And what he also did, Diallo and Dorgu, they were blocking the inside of the wingers for Manchester City. So Doku couldn't take his defender on and taking him on the inside, because there was always one of the wingers was always blocking that path for him. So setting that up for Man United was incredible. They couldn't get through. And then also the counterattacks. We saw the goal of Mbeumo. The counterattacks from Man United, when they came out, it was like even I was surprised, like saying like, wow, this is a total different team I'm watching now. So for them to win that game, it was just also they set the tone in the beginning. Okay, one could have gotten a red card because that kick on Doku's knee from Dalot was really bad. But I feel like they started off well and they played the game like a real derby, like a proper English derby. And that is why Man United won the game.